Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today you join me on the ground here at Fort Lauderdale International Airport, and today we are operating this American Eagle ATR 72 up to Orlando, taking a few people to Disney. Should be a nice short fun flight in the ATR. We are using Beyond ATC for our ATC today, so we'll see how that goes. But for now, let's hop in and let's request our clearance up to Orlando.
Fort Lauderdale clearance, Envoy 401, with information November, ready to copy IFR clearance to Orlando Airport.
Envoy 401, Fort Lauderdale clearance, cleared to Orlando Airport. Oral to departure with the Matlock transition then is filed. Climb via SID, except maintain 4,000 feet. Departure frequency 128.6. Squawk 3466.
All right, there's our instructions. Let's read that back.
Cleared to Orlando Airport. Oral to departure with the Matlock transition then is filed. Climb via SID, except maintain 4,000 feet. Departure frequency 128.6. Squawk 3466, Envoy 401.
Envoy 401, read back correct. Contact ground 121.4 when ready for start or taxi.
All right.
Will contact ground 121.4 when ready for start or taxi, Envoy 401. See you, thanks.
All right, so we're cleared up to 4,000 feet, so let's get that dialed in here. All right, that's 4,000 feet set. Let's come down here and set up our squawk code. We're on the serve page over here, and we're putting in our squawk code of 3466. Hit enter on that and turn the transponder on. All right, that's all looking good. Come down here to the MCDU, or the flight box, and we're taking off runway 10 left. Doral 2 departure, Matlock transition. That all looks good. Let's go and execute that. So there you can see what our flight plan looks like over here. All right, everything in the flight box is set there. Let's see the status of our boarding. They're still waiting for the bags to show up. That's all good. Pretty soon the bags will be here and we will be on our way. Just took care of setting up the rest of the stuff here in the flight box. This is our flight plan right now. So we're taking off runway 10 left, flying via the SID up to LIFRR, then to Bogey, then to Doral, then to Benz, then to Funar, Matlock transition, and at that point we should expect our arrival into Orlando. Believe we're expecting runway 17 left in Orlando, so we could get that dialed in here and get the approach in, but we'll wait for them to give us instructions. So all good there at this time. All right, let's get our no device signs on, seatbelt signs on, fuel's already loaded, external power's on, and pretty soon we'll go ahead and request startup here once they're done boarding. All right, boarding is completed. GSX has evacuated the premises. So let's go ahead and request our startup here from Beyond ATC.
At Ramp Golf 19er, request startup.
Envoy 401, engine start approved. Call when ready for taxi.
All right, startup is approved.
Will startup approved, Envoy 401.
Let's go ahead and arm all the doors now. Let's get our beacon lights turning on. I just turned on the fuel pumps. Let's go ahead and get the prop brake on. So we're going to come down to the throttles. We're going to press the hydraulic button once. Back to the overhead. There you see it's ready. Let's turn the prop brake on. Let's get start AB selected. And let's get you guys control cam here. All right. And as you can see, I'm using my Moza force feedback yoke as always. My Honeycomb Bravo with my ATR throttle configuration. Also using the new WingFlex DAP 500 autopilot panel. Got that mapped with the ATR. So that's all exciting here. Let's go ahead and start up the right side. And we're looking for 14% on the NH. Once that is achieved, like so, we're going to introduce the condition lever to the feather position. And our right side should be started here. Come outside, right side is started. There goes an aircraft taking off. A little buggy, but right side is started here. We could see the little engine blur behind.
Flare 1601.
That.
Contact Fort Lauderdale Tower 120.2.
Over to Tower 120.2, Flare 1601, take care.
All right, so good start on number 1. Go to the overhead, turn off start AB. At this point, we could disconnect from the external power, like so. Then we could go over to the EFB and release the ground power. No longer need that. And we could go ahead and start up the left side as well. So let's go back to start AB position here. And let's start up engine number 1.
Delta 1401, gate Delta 7, request pushback and engine start.
Looking again for 14% on the NH.
Delta 1401, Fort Lauderdale ground. Pushback
There it
approved.
goes.
Face north.
Pushback and engine start approved, face
Get
north.
that prop in the
Delta
feather
1401.
position. There you can see our Moza yoke starts vibrating because this engine is going to spin up this time. That is, of course, the left side. And there it goes. Spinning up in all her glory. Now we're good to go. Jump back to the overhead. Turn off start AB here. All right, so let's get our taxi lights on. Main oxygen supply can also come on as well. And now we're gonna release the prop brake on the right engine. So we're gonna come back down to the throttle quadrant here. We're gonna press the hydraulic pump once. Back to the overhead. There you can see the ready light again. Remove the gate and turn the prop brake off. There you can see it's unlinked. And the prop brake is off, so both sides should be spinning up now. Very nice. And let's get the prop to the auto position now. So they'll spin up in all their glory. Look at that. Absolutely beautiful. We love the ATR on this channel. All right, so all looks well here. Let's go ahead and get one notch of flaps in
JetBlue 272, Fort Lauderdale ground.
for takeoff,
Pushback and engine start approved. Face northwest.
like so.
Pushback approved. Face northwest. JetBlue 272.
And let's request taxi to the runway.
Envoy 401, taxi for departure.
Envoy 401, runway 10 left taxi via Tango, Tango, November, Tango 7, November, Golf, Quebec, Lima, Echo, Bravo.
All right, let's read that back.
Runway 10 left taxi via Tango, Tango, November, Tango 7, November, Golf, Quebec, Lima, Echo, Bravo, Envoy 401.
Got quite some taxiing to do here. All right, we are clear to taxi. Let's get this back into ND. All right, feet on the brake. Let's release the parking brake. And I believe we're ready to go here. All right, let's start our taxi to runway 10 left. Let's get head tracking turned on. Let's roll. All right, just like so, the aircraft is moving out. Make sure we clear that big Airbus next to us. Pretty far from it anyway. Well, far, but not that far. Looking good here, looking good. Get onto this taxi line right here. just as Beyond ATC intended. Nice and easy taxi over to the runway. Let's rock and roll. All right, taxiing over to our runway. Quite a long taxi from where we were parked up. That's all good though. We got to take in the lovely views here at the airport. As we see that aircraft either just landed or on its takeoff roll there ahead of us to the right. Might have just landed. Looks like it's slowing down, but I could be wrong. Then there's another aircraft over there. That might be the one taking off. Yeah, this other JetBlue on the right just landed. I know JetBlue has a huge presence over here in Fort Lauderdale. All right, we're making this left coming up here. Long taxi today, guys. Long taxi. But all is well. Yep, that aircraft behind us just took off on runway 10 right. And we're taxiing to 10 left, I believe. Such a beautiful aircraft, the ATR. It's probably one of my favorites, I would say. Again, getting caught up with fancy views and veering off the taxi line there. Still got a ways to go before we get to our runway. Bombardier have their hangar over here where they do maintenance, I guess, and service various aircraft. Pretty cool. We're not taking this turn off. We're taking the second one. As a cool aircraft is about to land right in front of us here. This should be interesting. It's going to be right to our right side because we're making this slight left here. This is pretty cool. Slow down here to see this landing. Lovely A320 landing just like that. Just like that. That was pretty cool. All right, we're going up this taxiway, and then we should be over at the whole short point for our runway for takeoff. Let's get our Yoke back in view. All right, here at the whole short point, let's go ahead and set our parking brake. All right, let's request departure.
Envoy 401, holding short, runway 10 left.
Envoy 401, Fort Lauderdale Tower, wind 120 at Niner. Fly heading tree 40, runway 10 left, cleared for takeoff.
All right, we're cleared for takeoff.
Fly heading 340, runway 10 left, clear for takeoff, Envoy 401.
All right, we're flying heading 340. All right, let's roll here. Release the parking brake. Let's release the dust lock as well. Let's get the prop to full forward. Flaps are already set. Let's roll. All right, nice and lined up here. Nice and lined up. Let's go ahead and go flying. Climbing to 4,000 feet. Turn into a heading of 340. That's all good. All right, let's roll. Rotate. All right, positive rate, gear up.
Envoy 401, contact Miami departure.
Contact Miami departure, Envoy 401.
Let's go ahead and retract our flaps as we continue to climb.
Miami departure, Envoy 401. Good day, leaving 1,200 for 4,000.
Envoy 401, Miami departure. Radar contact. Cleared directly for resume the Doral 2. Climb and maintain 10,000 feet.
Cleared directly for resume the Doral 2. Climb and maintain 10,000 feet. Envoy 401.
All right, we're climbing to 10,000 feet and we're cleared directly for 10,000 feet is in the box here. For some reason my trim isn't working.
Miami departure, JetBlue 1394, leaving 1,400 feet for 16,000 feet.
JetBlue 1394, Miami departure. Radar contact.
Alright, continuing to climb here. And flying her in. We have 10,000 feet set. We have direct to Leafer. Let's go ahead and get headed mode set.
Runway 401. Contact Miami Oceanic 123.775.
Center on 123.775, Envoy 401.
Alright, so we're still hand flying. For some
Miami
reason,
Oceanic, Envoy
aircraft is
401.
behaving very
Passing
wonky
7,400 for 10,000 feet.
whenever I put in autopilot mode.
Envoy 401, Miami Oceanic, good day, climb maintain 14,000, altimeter 3009er.
Climb up to
Climb
14,000.
maintain 14,000, altimeter 3009er, Envoy 401.
American 1641, contact Miami Center 124.7.
Center on 124.7, American 1641.
Alright, climb up to 14,000. Let's get that set. Aircraft is behaving weird whenever I try to put on the autopilot. Let's go ahead and make our right turn here. Don't know why the aircraft is behaving so erratic today. We fly this plane all the time. Alright. Nav mode is selected. Alright, there goes the autopilot one this time. Now it's behaving a lot better. Let's get nav mode selected.
Miami
Alright,
Center,
nav mode is
November
selected.
107, 3 Foxtrot,
Now let's get
10,
vertical
10,000.
speed mode up to 14,000 feet.
November 107, 3
All right, there we
Foxtrot,
go.
Miami Center, radar contact.
Now the aircraft is behaving as we expect. Looking good. Only took us an hour. Alright, we passed 10,000 feet. Let's get the landing lights off. Should have been had that off. Meanwhile, we get these on. Clear those. Alright, looking good. Finally, we are on autopilot. Climbing up to 14,000 feet. Vertical speed mode for the climb. That's okay. LNAV selected. And we're heading over to
325
Bogey.
Romeo Delta. Contact Miami Center 132.45. See you.
Contact Miami
Pretty
Center
soon we'll put the aircraft into
132.45,
cruise
November
power.
325 Romeo Delta.
we should be
Have
good.
a good day.
Orange Tail 9er 32. Contact Miami Center 132.45.
Center on 132.45, Orange Tail 932.
Miami Center, non-Chile 4408, meeting flight level 304, descending via Monty 1 arrival, runway 17 left.
Mon Chile 4408, Miami Center.
Alright, just about 14,000 feet. Let's get the aircraft into cruise power here. Looking
Miami
good.
Center, Delta 1995. Good day. Out of 13,000 feet for 16,000. Delta 1995, Miami Center. Climb and maintain flight level 330. Climb and maintain flight level 330. Delta 1995.
Contact Miami Center 132.25, Envoy 401. Miami Center, Envoy 401, 14,100 feet.
Envoy 401, Miami Center, copy. November 12679. Contact Miami Center 124.1.
Center on 124.1, November 12679.
All right, there's our descent instructions. Let's read that back.
Descend via slow 1 arrival, runway 17 left, altimeter 3009er, Envoy 401.
Lovely. Let's go down to the flight box and put that in here. So 17 left arrival. Let's put that in right now. Go to the next page. We're doing the SLOW 1 arrival. Didn't give us via though. So let's do none for now.
Orange Tail 9er 32. Contact
let's
Miami
execute
Center
that.
124.1.
Contact Miami Center 124.1, Orange Tail 9er 32, see you.
Let's remove that discontinuity here. Beautiful, execute that. All looks good now.
Envoy 401. Contact Miami Center 124.1. Have a good day.
All right, transition over to Miami
Contact
Center.
Miami Center 124.1, Envoy 401. Miami Center, Envoy 401, leaving 14,100, descending via slow 1 arrival, runway 17 left.
Envoy 401, Miami Center, copy.
So we got this in the 6,000.
November
Slough.
80298. Contact Miami
Let's go ahead and start getting that dialed in here.
Center on 134.55, November 80298.
Awesome. Let's get vertical speed mode in here as we descend.
Contact Orlando approach 124.8. See you.
Contact Orlando approach Envoy 401. Have a good one.
Lovely dovely.
Launch Elate 8126 Heavy. Flight present heading.
Announcer on that frequency.
Altimeter 3009er. Vectors for the approach.
Flight present heading, descend maintain 5000, altimeter 3009 and launch Elate 8126 Heavy.
Orlando approach, Envoy 401, leaving 12,600, descending to 6,000 feet with information kilo.
Launch Elate 8126 Heavy. Turn left, heading 240. Descend and maintain 3600.
Turn left heading 240, descend and maintain 3600, launch Elate 8126 Heavy.
Envoy 401. Orlando approach, altimeter 3009er, expect the visual approach runway 17 left.
All right, we're expecting the visual approach.
Altimeter 3009er, expect the visual approach runway 17 left, Envoy 401.
Alright, I believe all is looking good right now. We're expecting the visual approach for runway 17 left. Heading to Odell right now. All is looking alright. Alright, below 10,000 feet. Landing lights coming back on. Continuing to descend here.
Runway 401. Leave Odell heading 360. Expect radar vectors for visual approach runway 17 left.
Alright, there's our instructions. Heading 360.
Expect radar vectors for visual approach runway 17 left, Envoy 401.
Alright, we're getting vectored in.
Spirit wings 3643. Leave Warmer heading 330. Expect
After
radar
Odell,
vectors
we're going
for
to
visual
head
approach runway
360,
18 right.
which is already
Leave
dialed
Warmer
in
heading
here.
330. Expect radar vectors for visual approach runway 18 right. Spirit wings 3643. Launch Chile 4408. Turn left.
Alright, let's go ahead and mode.
Descend and maintain 5,000 feet. Vectors for the approach.
Turn left heading 350, descend and maintain 5,000 feet, 1 Chile 4408.
Just about to level out at
Delta
6,000 feet
1893,
here.
Turn right, heading 015, vectors for the approach.
Turn right, heading 015, Delta 1893.
So we're flying heading
Delta
360,
1893,
expecting
Turn
vectors.
right, heading 120. Descend, maintain 3,000 feet.
Let's get the ILS dialed in here.
Turn right, heading 120. Descend, maintain 3,000 feet. Altimeter 3009er. Delta 1893.
Lots of activity here on this
Flight present heading.
arrival.
Maintain 2,000. Vectors for the approach. Expect further clearance in about 15 miles.
Alright, they got us descending to
Flight present
2,000
heading.
feet.
Descend maintain 2000, Envoy 401.
Alright, let's go back in here and descend to 2,000 feet. We're getting vectors for the approach. So 2,000 feet coming right up. Alright, there's 2,000 feet selected. Looking good. We're flying the same heading. Very nice, very nice. Seems like Beyond ATC is very nice, very nice. Alright, since we're getting vectors, let's go ahead and switch to ILS 1 over here. Since we're getting vectors, that looks good. We already have the frequency 110.95 dialed in here.
Contact Orlando Tower 124.3. Contact Tower 124.3.
And a course of 185, so that's all good. Our course is ready. ILS frequencies dialed in. And we're getting vectors, so we're looking all right.
Heading 145. Expect radar vectors for visual approach runway 18 right. Spirit wings 1368.
There is the airport off to our left there.
1368. Descend, maintain 5,000 feet. Altimeter 3009er. Vectors for the approach. Descend, maintain 5,000 feet. Altimeter 3009er. Spirit wings 1368.
Head tracking is on. There is the airport off to our left. We're getting vectored in here soon. So let's get to 2,000 feet in a jiffy. Not too aggressive, but also watch the speed. Looking good as we continue to descend here. Flying ahead in a 360 as instructed by Beyond ATC. we'll get vectored in here shortly. Let's descend 2,000 feet.
Turn left, heading 250. Descend and maintain 1,400 feet.
Descend,
left, heading
maintain.
250. Ascend and maintain 1,400 feet. Envoy 401.
Alright, we're going to turn in 250 here.
Heading 215. Expect radar vectors for visual approach runway 17 left.
As we continue to descend.
Radar vectors for visual approach runway 17 left. United 2709. Spirit Wings 1368. Airport is at your 1 o'clock 10 miles. Report the field in sight. Field in sight. Spirit Wings 1368. Spirit Wings 1368. Cleared visual approach runway 18 right. Cleared visual approach 18 right. Spirit Wings 1368. Spirit Wings 1368. Contact Orlando Tower 124.3. Contact Tower 124.3. Spirit Wings 1368. Envoy 401. Airport is at your 10 o'clock 7 miles. Report the field in sight.
Field is in sight.
We'll report field in sight. Envoy 401.
United 2709. Descend, maintain 6,000. Altimeter 3009er. Vectors for the approach. Descend, maintain 6,000. Altimeter 3009er. United 2709.
Alright, approach is armed.
Fly present heading, descend and maintain 3,300.
Glide slope captured.
Present heading, descend and maintain 3,300. United 2709.
Let's get one notch of flaps in. Getting back on track here with the Yoke. Let's go. Getting back on track here. Oh, I got to report field is in
Envoy
sight.
401. Field in sight.
Envoy 401. Cleared visual approach runway 17 left.
Cleared visual approach.
17 left. Envoy 401.
Envoy 401. Contact Orlando Tower 1845. See you.
Landing gear going down.
Contact Tower 1845. Envoy 401. Orlando Tower, Envoy 401. Visual runway 17 left.
Envoy 401. Orlando Tower.
Alright, cleared to land.
250 at 8. Runway 17 left. Cleared to land.
Alright, Yoke Star, glide slope, cleared to
Runway
land.
17 left, cleared to land. Envoy 401.
Landing gear is down, ready to rock and roll. Let's go ahead and put the next notch of flaps in. Flaps are groovy. Full flaps are in. Watch the speed there. And pretty soon we'll disengage the autopilot and go my aircraft. Alright, full flaps in. On glide slope, 700 feet to go. Let's go ahead and go my aircraft. That's alright. And we're landing. Let's watch the trim. Nice and easy. Wind is a little gusty here. Take it easy. A little high. Reduce the speed. Very high. Alright, let's go throttle idle here. Watch the flare and watch the trim. I don't like this trim right now at all.
Orlando Tower, United 2709.
Ooh, hard landing.
Visual runway 17 left.
Hard landing for sure.
United 2709.
Did not like that
Orlando
trim.
Tower, continue. Roger,
Trim was
United
all over the place.
2709.
Alright, but we're here on the ground. That was probably one of my worst landings in the ATR in a while. And I've had some bad landings. That was not good at all. But we move. All right.
Convoy 401, exit right at Foxtrot.
Is this Foxtrot?
Exit right at Foxtrot, Convoy 401.
I don't know if this is Foxtrot, but we're gonna exit right here. Might have been. All right, we made it on the ground safely for the most part. Let's go ahead and clear the whole short point here.
Convoy 401, contact ground 126.4.
All right, let's contact ground.
Ground 126.4, Envoy 401.
All right, landing lights can come off. And we're on the ground. Let's request taxi to the assigned
Envoy
ramp.
401, request taxi to assigned ramp.
Meanwhile, we can go ahead and clean up the aircraft.
Taxi to ramp 609
Track the flaps.
via Foxtrot. Hold short of runway 17 right.
That was Foxtrot we exited on.
Taxi to
That was
ramp
good.
609 via Foxtrot. Hold short of runway 17 right, Envoy 401.
All right, so here's what happened. We landed the airplane in cruise power. No wonder the trim was all over the place. We needed to make sure we were back in takeoff power. Unbelievable. That was terrible on our part. Absolutely terrible on my part there. Let's get the idle gate coming on. All right. Yeah, I landed the aircraft with cruise power set. I make a lot of mistakes usually, but that's usually not one of the mistakes I make. Usually I make sure the aircraft is back into takeoff power, but on this occasion we didn't. Everything else worked well though. The approach mode worked, glide slope was captured, Yoke was captured. I feel like Beyond ATC kind of had us on final a little aggressive. I feel like we could have went out a little bit more, but that's all good. We also weren't at the proper altitude, but we had the aircraft in cruise power to land, and we also didn't have our condition levers all the way forward for the props, but made it on the ground anyway. So let's taxi to our spot here. All right, here we could see Orlando Airport in all her glory. All the families excited to be at Disney. Slow down here as we continue our taxi to our gate. It's nowhere near here. Gotta go all the way up. All right, landing lights are off. Taxi lights still on. Flaps are retracted. Idle gate is on. Just a taxi to our gate. Long taxi to our gate. Overall, that was a fun little flight though. Beyond ATC behaved herself all the way up to Orlando, so we'll take it. So this was our route we just flew up to Orlando from KFLL. Flew up this way, transition at Matlock, and vectors for the approach. So that was our little flight here into Orlando. Little Florida hop in, you know. Still taxiing here. There we can see the JetBlue maintenance hangar over there. It looks exactly like the one over at JFK, so that's pretty cool. Southwest over there. Sceneries look really nice over here. It looks really nice. Can't even remember which scenery this is. I don't think it's default though, but I've had this a while. I think I've had this for a while. I just haven't flown here in a long time. Can't even remember where I got it from. So here's Beyond ATC. We're taxiing all the way over here and up to a gate over there. That's how much further we got to taxi. So we're making our way downtown, walking fast, and we landed all the way over, not even, this is 3-5. Yeah, we landed over here, exited here, and came all the way over here. Now we're taxiing up to our gate. So good old Beyond ATC assigned us a spot over there. This is a big airport. Huge. Where did I get this airport from? I really can't remember. All right, finally making it into our parking spot over here. Jeez, this is where Beyond ATC had us come. All the way over to this dead end area. That is absolutely nuts. Absolutely, absolutely nuts. But it is what it is. Yeah, there's nothing out here. Jeez. We basically taxied all the way to Port Canaveral. About to see the space shuttle take off. Jeez. We landed and we taxied all the way to Daytona. Absolutely nuts. Alright, but that looks like where we're gonna go and make our right turn into this parking spot over here. Seems like this guy's giving us taxi instructions, is he? He wants us to go this way? I don't know what he wants. Okay. All right. I think this is where he wanted us to stop. And we got chalked. All right. Let's set parking brake here. Welcome to Orlando. It's going to take you a while to get to your actual gate, but this is where they have us parked, Beyond ATC. We'll take it. Welcome to Orlando, guys. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Orlando. We're gonna go ahead and shut her down. First thing we're gonna do is go to the throttles. Let's go ahead and get the hydraulic pump on. Press that once. Go back to the overhead. Let's get the prop brake on. Oh, it was on. There we go. Link it. And the right side should stop spinning there. Let's get our taxi lights off. Let's get the signs off, seatbelt and no device. Also disarm the doors. Right side is already stopped. And let's go ahead and bring the left side into feather position. And let's shut it down. There she goes, spinning down as this aircraft lands behind us. Very nice. We still have power through the other engine, but stop spinning. We're in hotel mode. Let's go ahead and get the chalk set. Tail prop set. Open our rear door. That's all good. We could open the cargo door as well. And let's see if we could request deboarding from GSX. All right, there goes our passengers. They're getting off the aircraft. They're all excited to head to Disneyland and Universal Studios Orlando. For some reason, they're a little laggy, but worse things have happened. All right, we're going to go ahead and end the video here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please remember to like the video, hype the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.